Hi there, welcome back to the channel. You know, many years ago, uh, I used to have to do reports weekly for a well-known organisation in the UK, and it was the same reports every week without fail because very little changed on the project in that duration. And every week I'd have to come up with some innovative way to create a chart or some kind of diagram from an Excel spreadsheet to make it look interesting because the whole report was rather dull and boring. I don't know if you've come across this in your business, but today's tool that I'm going to talk about in AI is going to make this kind of work far easier. And even better, the tool has now got a new feature which is rather cool. Hi, I'm John from SI UK Digital, and this is me explaining a bit more about NotebookLM. Now, some of you may be familiar with NotebookLM, but I imagine an awful lot of you have never heard of it. It is in fact a Google product, and it's phenomenal for doing data analysis. Best thing I can do is show you how. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so pretty simple to find it. You go to NotebookLM, search it via Google, but it'll come up under google.notebooklm. And once in there, you'll come across a screen like this. It literally is a button down the bottom where you hit create, and it's going to bring you to a particular screen. I'll just go back to the main screen. Now over to the left-hand side, we've got our sources section. You can think of this as a repository, a data hub, whatever you want, database. It's where you're going to put all your files and information that you want to extract the data from and analyze. Within there, you can do PDFs, you can do plain text, you can do website links, you can do YouTube videos, you can do MP3 files, you name it. It's quite an extensive list. I think Google Drive is another thing you can add the information from, and it will go through it. Obviously on the free version, it has limitations to how many there are. There's significantly more if you're using the full paid version. For most instances, the free version will be fine, but if you do have a big lot of data to analyze, it might be worth upgrading. In this middle, you've got the chat screen, as it says there. Essentially, that's where you'll see snippets of the data appear, and you can interrogate it using the message box at the bottom. But we'll come on to that in a moment. Over to the right, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting because you've got some other tools you can utilize here to further create other documents and other options. It starts off with the very top is an audio overview. This essentially creates a podcast for you. It has two actors. It says English, they're an American accent. It's the same two voices all the way through, and it will normally start with something like a deep dive. It's not the most exciting podcast, and to be honest with you, I would say it only works 1 out of 5 times. And if you do use it to create anything, you'd need to listen all the way through to make sure it hasn't faux pased somewhere in the middle, as it quite often does. What I will say is there are better ways to create a podcast from this kind of thing, and you can even take what it creates and use the dialogue, the script that comes out with it, and I would go away and manually change that, and I've done that in the past, and that works much better. I'd change the voices, etc. But it is there. It's fun to play with. I mean, if nothing else, give it a go. It's a bit of entertainment, a bit of interest. Further down, you've got study guides, perhaps not so relevant, but a briefing document is essentially a report, timeline, FAQs, and so on. So there's more information you can extract right off the bat just from there. And in a moment, you'll see some more tools as they pop up on the screen. So I'm just going to grab some YouTube videos just for the moment, and we'll start working with those. And all I do is I go add source from here, and you can see it comes up with the options from where you can upload your sources. You can click a link there, or you can use one of the shortcuts down the bottom, including plain text or markdown language. I'm just going to add YouTube there, and I shall just quickly paste the URL in. I'm just going to paste a couple more. The next one, just add source again, same thing, and insert once again, and I'll just add a third one. Then I've added 3 videos. There's nothing exciting in the videos, I'm going to be honest with you. I just grabbed 3 vaguely similar topics, just to quickly bring this through. We can add a note to them here. We can get an audio overview. It would just repeat what's on the screen. Or we can say we can ask it to do the customize, to do the podcast. I would warn you, if you do that, customize it here to change some of the parameters, which means you've got to create a prompt. That will be for another video. We could use a briefing document to understand what they're filming about, timeline, or FAQ, but I think we'll come back to those in a moment. At the moment, the new feature that's come out is this rather cool mind map. And without further ado, I'm going to show you this now. For those of you who are more familiar with the NotebookLM, they can carry on their way. But the rest of you may not know anything about NotebookLM. I'll show you the other features too. Let's have a look at the mind map. Just click it. And it's gone for business growth strategy. And if we click on it, you can see it just keeps breaking out into the different sections. Process steps. What else we've got in here? I've set up a make account, connecting Google Sheets, placeholders. It's all rather cool, and if you go into it, I don't know if it'll let me into any further. Yes, it does. Let's just have a look. No, that's as far as this one goes. It's going to come on the screen with the benefits. There we go. Video, send personal. So it's given me some more information on the benefits of sending personalized bulk emails. But the important tool here, to be honest with you, the fun part, is this rather cool mind map, which, as you know, if you're having to do reports or present information for businesses, having something like this very quickly to be able to create something like this and show it off to your colleagues will be quite cool. Fortunately, I did notice it does jump around a lot like this, which is a bit annoying. There we go. But nevertheless, it's still a cool thing, and you can take a screenshot of those or download it. There you go. It's actually, in fact, it says it's from 3 sources, so this is an amalgam of all 3 videos that we're looking at here. It's all related to sales on this occasion. But there you go. The mind map function, it's just been added, literally in the last couple of days, to NotebookLM. Rather cool, a great way of presenting your reports to your colleagues. Enough of that one. Let's go back to some of the others. So let's come back to the middle pane. Let's see what it does if we ask a silly question. What is the simplest method of growing my business based on these videos? Let's see. It may not come with an answer for this. I don't know. We'll just see. Oh, in fact, it has. Simple methods, blah, blah, blah. Gary V, step-by-step social media strategy. Personal bulk emails. It does give it a very good summary there. I don't know if any of them are perfect for that. But what I wanted to show you here more than anything, to be honest with you, is the fact all the way through here, there are these reference points. And again, when you're doing data analysis or data presentation, you need to be able to refer back to the source documents that where you've got the information from, be it your own reports, your own company accounts, whatever. It inserts these data points throughout. So you know you've got the information there you can revert back to at any time. It's very useful to know this is available. But you can ask it more or less any question. You know, if you wanted to know what your returns were for that quarter, what the best sellers, again, this is where you could type it in and just do a very, very straightforward request, and it would bring out the information straight away. So it's quite a useful, handy tool for really digging deep into whatever data it is you're researching. If we quickly fly back to the right-hand side, we can look at these sections over here. If I now click on a briefing document, for example, it's going to generate a new document. It's called it a new note. And I'll just wait for that to appear. And here we go. It's created this briefing document. And one thing you'll notice is that it's actually created this down here on this side. And even if I were to close this down, I'll show you in a moment when I close it, it's there for you to come back to at a later date and all this information will remain within the document itself, and you can review, refer back to it at any point. And again, if you were looking for the basis for a report that you need to present, you've now got it outlined in here in a fairly concise manner that you could just change some of the titles around, print it off, email it to your colleague or whatever, and they've got some information very, very quickly. Simple as that. You can go for an FAQ. Again, it will come up with some of the pertinent points in a different format. Again, it's the same summary, it's just shorter, and it's just done it in a Q&A style response, which again might be something that appeals, particularly if you're sending it as an email, if it's something you need to summarize very quickly just to get the data exported. Okay, and then finally, again, I don't know what the timeline, if it would be of any benefit for this particular content, but we'll generate one just to have a look anyway. And yes, the dates on here. I didn't look at the dates of the videos when I grabbed the titles, so I don't know when they were done. 2024. I'll give something else in there. Can't see any dates in that one. Yeah. Anyway, again, it's basically broken it down into the time period as defined within the videos. If there isn't much information there for it to go and grab in that respect, it's going to struggle. But it's done the best it can within the information that is available. It's still quite a detailed report, all things considered. And just for curiosity more than anything else, we'll just click on the study guide and see what that creates. And it looks like this is, I've never actually bothered to look at this one because I don't use it personally. It's asking questions just to make sure you've actually read or watched the videos, I guess. And not a bad thing, I don't suppose, if you're doing courses. A bit of fun. Do your pub quiz that way. That is a quick overview of using NotebookLM. And as you can see now, if I were to close that down, it takes me back to the home screen, and I've now got an icon box on the front of the home page that contains the information related to what we've just done. If I were to click on that, I'm straight back in looking at the sources we were just looking at. So that is always there whenever you log in, so you can come and go with these as and when you feel. That's NotebookLM. I personally think it's an absolutely brilliant tool, whether you're doing market analysis, account analysis, end of year reports, if you're doing competitive analysis, any kind of data run that you need to extract information from. It has innovative ways and far more interesting ways of extracting that data, and far more useful than perhaps likes of ChatGPT, etc. You can, of course, take its output and throw it into ChatGPT and ask it to do other things from there. But I think on the whole, when you've got a raft of different documents or different entities that you need to extract information from, this is a far superior tool in order to perform that. I hope you found it useful. Please do leave a comment, tell us what you think. I'm going to leave you now. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you again in another episode.